Hello and welcome. Ladies, sit back and settle in. Grab a cup of coffee or grab your tea because the conversation we are about to have is just going to knock your socks off and get you thinking outside of the box. Today, I have the great pleasure of bringing Carine to the table, and we are going to talk a little bit about her background and, of course, about her business and how she is really shaking up and disturbing the status quo. So welcome, Carine, and thank you for giving me some of your time today. I know it's precious.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Sheri, for the invite. It's my pleasure and honor to be here with you, and I look forward to having that conversation with you.
So ladies, I want to first let you know that we have one smart cookie sitting at this table, PhD in computer science. So I'm just going to let that sit and simmer for just a moment. We do have a highly intelligent lady sitting before us with a little bit of credentials sitting behind her name. She loves working in the communication. She loves working with clients, helping them with productivity and computer science. Really, not my jam. I give my hats off to anybody who can sit into the realm of computers and all that is tech. So based on that information, Carine, can you just give us a little bit about your education and your history?
Sure, thank you, Sheri. So, like you already say, I have a a PhD in computer science. I So networking in general was my major at university, and what I graduated in. I started my career working as a network engineer and in research and development. I published a couple of articles, presented my work at multiple international conferences, and I had a patent in Europe actually. And after a good chunk of years working in research and development, I wanted to move from that place where I was working on very sophisticated projects to actually see the results for my clients on a day-to-day basis and actually bring the money, see how the company was doing with thanks to the project that we were being implemented back in the background on research and development. So that's why I moved to sales and marketing, being a technical resource in answering requests for proposal. And I worked as a proposal manager for about 10 years. So what I like there is the fact that I was a bridge between customers and the technical teams, the research and development team that I was working with previously. And I was getting that double competence of being a customer facing person and technical interface for the internal teams, and I like that very much. I still like it because today I continue in the same path working as a consultant for an IT company whilst I develop my real estate business on the side.
That is amazing. I love the customer bridge piece. And talking about bridges, I think we can actually see a lot of bridges that are going to be occurring in your life as we develop a pattern. So for those of you who are listening in, you will notice that Carine has a beautiful, lovely accent. Canada is not her home country. Cameroon is actually her home country. She's had the pleasure of living in the UK and France, and I think we can see a little bit of a French accent in the background there. With her work, Carine has had the ability to travel and to experience many different lifestyles in many different countries. And she felt that Canada was the best country for her and her family that would actually allow her to pursue a dream of giving her family a better quality of life. So, Carine, can you just enlighten us a little bit about what it was like to come to Canada and the experience that you and your family have had?
Of course, it was, it is, it continuously is really mind blowing, fulfilling. You know, Being in Canada, like you say, I had traveled a lot with my work, like I explained, and traveling gave me that opportunity to see different countries, different cultures, and I'm African. I was looking for a place where I would be able to nurture my origins and still be very open to the world and give that chance, that opportunity to my children. And I believe Canada, per design, per essence, is that country because people in Canada are so welcoming. You are free to be yourself, to own your origin and still be a Canadian, right? And that's something that was very appealing for me. I fell in love in Canada like 10 years ago or more, just by visiting. I had that one glimpse and one impression, when you have that feeling, you just know this is the place. This is the place. This is where I want to build my family. And back then I wasn't a mom yet. I wasn't married. I was just me, as an individual traveling. And I was like, this is really where I want to go. I went to Montreal and Vancouver back then. And I was like, yeah, this is the country where I want to live. I want to be a citizen of the world. I knew I wanted to travel. I've always loved traveling. And yeah, just that. And so far, I am right. Yeah,
Ah, I love that you have been able to find Canada's home. And I love that you say that you're also able to honor and marry your origins in with what Canada has to offer you. I think that is critical and it's very important because you bring a diverse background with you. And not only
absolutely.
are we able to gift you what Canada has to offer, but you were able to gift us a very different viewpoint in what life looks like and appreciate what we have to offer on a different level. So I think that is super exciting that you've been able to do that. For those who are listening, Carine has two daughters. So her husband has joined her here. She has two daughters, and she's also had the pleasure of bringing her extended family. So her mom is here, her in laws are here. And yes, they are all under one roof, even during COVID. So, Carine,
Absolutely.
bless on that one. And how has that worked out so far for you?
One word is great.
Mm,
Great because, especially nowadays with the COVID crisis, usually you would say, it's tough to get along with your in-laws or even your mom, under the same roof. But what we have learned, during the past month is that just being able to say you are healthy, you have your loved ones with you, it's a blessing. It's what one thing that I really learned with COVID is to actually appreciate and thank God for just being able to wake up every day and kiss my daughters, kiss my husband, and you know cherish my mom, my in-laws, just my family because life is so short and people are dying out there with different diseases, with COVID being the main thing. And yes, I have been blessed. That's just the word. And I feel great to have them with me, especially, with the lockdown. We don't usually see each other because, like you say, I'm with from Cameroon. My parents usually just visitors. They still live, they still have a home in Cameroon, and yeah, the fact that they were able to be here with me during these tough times, it was a comfort, was such a joy because they were safe, and
mm.
same for my in-laws. Just my being with my loved ones was a blessing. So, in a word, to answer your question, it's great.
I would agree with you. I have my parents live in the same property. So we're in a home where I have an in-law suite with no adjoining door. So we do have a little bit of separation and privacy. And I've been so grateful that my parents have been able to join me here They've been here with us for almost 2 years now, and the lockdown surely has made me appreciate the smaller things in life and the finer things in life. So I would agree that great sums it up in one word. It's perfect. Now, as I had the chance to chat with Carine and get to know her a little bit more, she does have 2 daughters. And one of the things that she is looking to be is a role model. And she has brought her family to Canada to fulfill a dream and to pursue a dream. And I can tell you, ladies, that the dream doesn't stop at her front door. It doesn't stop by just having her family under her roof. That really what we have wound up with is a gift. Little did we know when you came to Canada and you found us as home that you would be a gift to a community in need. You see, she's really looking to be a role model, to be a woman that other girls, young girls, and women can look up to. And she really is changing the way things look for families. In November, Carine started a new company. See, she's always had a passion about real estate, and she never really knew what that looked like when she was living elsewhere. But when she came to Canada, she saw that we view real estate investing differently. We view real estate differently, and that sitting before her were different opportunities. So she started a company in November, so brand spanking new, in the middle of COVID. So if anyone tells you that you can't pivot your passion and fulfill your dreams, I can tell you that you can. So in November 2020, you launched a brand new company. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. So the company is called Rent to Own now. It's a rent to own company, mostly designed to provide options. Like I said before, I came from Cameroon, and in Africa, having a home, having a roof above your head, above your family, your loved ones is a big gift you can give them, right? You can is about having that security that you are providing for your family, and you are starting to build a legacy for your children because they have a home. And so having that always, embedded in myself, and looking at the situation in Canada where it's becoming more and more difficult for even just, first the youngster, the young professional that start their career, or just families, and I don't even talk about immigrants who don't know the system when they arrive here, right? It's becoming more and more difficult for them to secure a home, just a home for their family. Um, so having that in my mind, and always knowing that real estate was going to be a vehicle to provide for my family, for my retirement, building that program rent to own was an obvious thing to do because I was killing two birds with one stone. First, I was fulfilling that goal of mine that I wanted to provide for my own family, my children, right? To save for the retirement, build something for my own retirement. But at the same time, I was also going to provide options to other families to start building a legacy for their loved ones through home ownership. So merging those two things in a business was obvious, like I say, for myself because of where I'm coming from, and where I want to go. Being a role model for my children is about telling them that yes, be your own boss, build something for yourself, build a legacy for your future, for your children. I hope to be a grandmom someday, but at the same time, do it while impacting someone else's life, while giving them something positive as well, because at the end of the day, it's about love, right? Spreading love, spreading love inside your family, inside your inner circle, but also outside in your community. So rent to own now is about that. We provide options to families who struggle to get a traditional mortgage to buy their principal residence. We work on coaching them to overcome whatever challenge they have so that they can reach that goal of home ownership.
This is absolutely amazing. And I know I've heard of a rent to own option before. And I'm gonna say, so pardon me if this comes out a little offside, is that it seems to be a male dominated industry. And the almighty dollar tends to be the driving force in a lot of male dominated frameworks. And not that that's a bad thing, it's just different. And it's interesting when a woman comes in and has the same thought process, but comes at it from a heart centered place. I think it's important to know that as a woman, you're allowed to be your own boss. You're allowed to claim your time freedom, and you're allowed to make a profit. There is nothing icky or yucky about making a profit. That is what we go into business for. But we don't always need to be driven by the almighty dollar. It is simply amazing when it is love centered and it is heart based and you're giving back to a community. And this is where I believe that Carine really is a gift to all of those around her, what she's looking to do. See, I know as we sit and we look at real estate, our home prices are going through the roof. Like, it's just absolutely staggering what people are paying for homes. It's also staggering what families are paying for rent. And
Absolutely.
often, right? And oftentimes their rent prices far exceed what it is for the cost of a mortgage and the maintenance utilities of running a household. But how do you possibly come up with a down payment when all of your paycheck is going to your rent? It's a vicious cycle that these families are getting into. And what Carine is doing, she's breaking the cycle. She's breaking that cycle for families. She's giving them options and opportunities to own a piece of the pie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Really, that word options is the main thing here because usually what would people do? They would say, okay, this is maybe I'm ready to get a home. I'm ready to settle in the place with my family. And what they will do is they will go to the bank they are doing business with, right? That's the first thing they would do, which is it makes sense at some point. Although I would go to see a mortgage broker myself again to have more options. But they would go and talk to either a bank or mortgage broker, and then if they are unlucky, they will get a no.
Mm.
If they are not too unlucky, they will get the reason why they have that no. But most of the time, they won't even know why they can't get that mortgage. They will just get something like, oh, you don't have enough money, or your income is not good. We can't, sorry. You're not checking the boxes, right, of the system. So my mission, I would say here, is for these people first to explain to them why they are getting a no. Because it's important to understand. When you understand things, you can take actions if you want to. Or you can decide to not take action, but at least you have the choice there. Again, options, right? And not only do we explain why they can't get that mortgage, we say, okay, these are the possible actions you can take to work on that. This is what you could do to improve that, to get a better chance, to put more chances on your side, right? So that's something I'm trying to put out there to make it more common, right? And I do that. Sorry, excuse me. One thing. I'm gonna close this. I forgot to put my phone on silent. Sorry. So we get them. We talk to them. We say, this is why you're not getting that. No, you're getting that. No, sorry. This is what you could do. And in the meantime, we guide them on how to actually action on those steps they can do, right? And at the end of the day, it's up to them. How important is that ownership, is that home ownership for them? If they are motivated, they can work with us. We guide them. We work with them. The success of our program is to get someone from a point A where they could not, they were in a very bad position to qualify for a mortgage. We work with them during a certain time. We coach them. That's important. We coach them, right? With those uh, action that I mentioned. We coach them and we bring them to a point B where they have more chances to qualify for that mortgage. And they decide to buy that house or not. And yeah, and whilst we're doing that, we put them in the house of their dream at the beginning of the program, meaning they're doing it with the peace of mind, not thinking about, oh my God, okay, uh, by the time I'm ready to get that mortgage, the prices would have gone crazy. What do I do? Say we are giving them time to work on those challenges that they have. We put them in a house at the beginning, the house that they would have chosen, because that's how the program works. They enter as a tenant. We coach them to overcome the challenge that they had initially. And at the end of the program, they've worked on that with us. We have guided them and they can buy that house at a secure price because we secure the price from the beginning. That's how we provide options.
I think this is amazing. So just to recap and bring people through, that a lot of the times when we're looking to buy a home, we go to the bank because that's what our parents did. That's what we were taught to do. So we do the good thing and we go to the bank, and I think many people aren't even aware of what exactly a mortgage broker does, because I think we believe they do the same thing as the bank. So you walk into the bank where you have all of your accounts set up, you've been a lifetime client, you think that that bodes in your favor, and it really doesn't. I mean, let's be honest, we're really just a number in somebody's checklist. And that checklist then comes into play when you meet with an advisor. You're going to sit down and they're going to go through the boxes, and either A, you check them off, or B, you don't. And there is no in between. There is no other options. It's either a yes or it's a no. And if it's a no, it usually is a really deflating no. If there is no follow-up, the bank's not guiding you for any course of action as to how you can fix whatever issues may be on the table at that time. It's just a nope, and they're on to the next person, because there's many people waiting in that long line. And a lot of the advisors do make a commission off of the mortgages going through. So they're not going to spend time on a no, because they don't see the end result of guiding people through.
Yeah.
But what Carine is doing is, yes, she's going through those same boxes. She's working with a mortgage broker. But if it's a no on paper, she has a team. And that team is going to sit down and guide those families. They're going to educate you as to what those problems are, and then give you further education as to how you can overcome and surpass those challenges. Like, mind blown right there. And while they're doing that, they're not saying, go back to your apartment and see me in 3 years. What they're saying is, that dream home that you were looking for that mortgage for will help you. There's options. It is a rent to own option. The beautiful thing with these families is that they get to move in to that dream home today. And they get to prearrange what that purchase price is going to look like 3-4 years down the road. So with the inflation of all of the prices, they already know what that secured price is. And when they know that, odds are when they're purchasing that home in 3 or 4 years, their problems have been worked out, they're already buying a home that has established equity.
Oh, yeah.
Carine is giving these families not just a handout, but she is giving them a complete leg up. And she really is changing the cycle for many families who have had no choice but to rent from generation to generation to generation. And it's not because they don't work hard. And it's not because they're not worth it. It's because the system is just so hard to surpass and overcome. And Carine is helping them overcome that. Like, God
I'm
bless.
so glad. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you mentioned that word, educate, educate. You remember you started the conversation saying that I have a PhD in telecom. Let me tell you, when I got into the real estate, the first thing that was like a big, mind-blowing, well, assessment for me is that yes, I was highly educated in telecom, but I was a zero in financial education. And
Mm.
actually, whatever earnings I had from that great job, if I couldn't use it properly, through thanks to a financial education, I would end up walking hours like that hamsters, like my whole life, and don't I wouldn't even have the opportunity to actually enjoy, the result of my great job, my good salary, without being educated financially, without knowing how the systems work. And that's a one thing I want to bring to those families. Know how it works. Know what you should do to get your home and to stay in there safely from the financial point of view, how to have a financial health. Because it goes, it's obvious, but not everyone out there knows how important it is. We know maybe about the physical health. There are a lot of fitness coaches out there that are doing a great job, talking about how important it is to be healthy physically, but it's also important to be healthy financially. The two goes together, and that's that's what that's one of my hidden goal also with the rent to own program is you can't eat. What is really driving me is, you know, have someone not knowing about, that how their credit score is being built up, how it's being calculated, and they just finish the program, not being an expert, but have more financial literacy, know that, okay, I have to be really conscious of doing my payment on time, getting the right credit card or whatever, I would say, yeah, be smarter financially, while they are getting their home. And that's also one of my, yeah, like I say, hidden goal with the rent to own. Yeah, absolutely. Educate. That's a great word. Thank you for that, Sheri.
You're welcome. And I think part of the problem is that the average Jane doesn't realize that the education is available for her. That I think
No,
we view financial literacy is for those who have financial wealth. And we need to start with the basics so that we can get the average Jane to some financial wealth. And it is mental health, it's physical wellness and being, it's pride, it's so much all rolled into one. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your education comes with no judgment.
absolutely. The one thing, I talk to a lot of people because, of course, you have so many people trying to get a home out there. And
Mm.
unfortunately, sometimes we cannot get everyone in the program today because what we try to do is to work on specific or short period of time. Sorry, yes, right. And and sometimes you have to tell people, and that's also one thing I am very serious about. I always aim at being honest with people. When I say, sorry, I can't work with you today, I explain why. I tell them what they can do. Again, same process, what they can do, and if they're interested, when they can come back and talk again to me, right? And even though I cannot work with them at that point, I take the opportunity whilst I'm on a call with them, on a Zoom call in general, to just take those minutes to educate them on the point, on any financial aspect that are a roadblock for them today. And
Mm.
I feel sometimes I feel like I'm a preacher, but you know what? I like that. I am preaching it, and I take every minute, every instant, any opportunity to preach financial education to people, because since I've discovered that for me it's like a must. I'm coming for me, it might be weird because I have a PhD, but sometimes I feel like we should actually start with that at kindergarten, instead of the maths or biology or chemistry, because it's so important. It gives you just option, the choice,
Mm.
opportunities, the open mind to look at different things in the world. And that's what I want for my daughter. And I'm thinking, if I want that for my daughter, it only makes sense that other people want that for their children, their loved ones. And it only makes sense for me to tell them to just spread the word about that yes, please, this is an opportunity. This is the option just one thing, if I can do one thing at a time, spreading that, bringing them that option. This is one way for you to achieve that. Starting with home ownership on my specific case. This is one way. And please just spread the information. You don't have to work with me, but just spread the information.
I love that. And I think that's probably a beautiful space to wrap our conversation up today. See, what I have just learned is that, I mean, I already knew this coming in, is that Carine is a gift. I knew that when I met her and just knew that I had to bring her light to the world. You say that you're a preacher, preach, sister, preach it. It is a sermon that we need to hear each and every day. And there are many of us who would agree that this education should be starting in our early grades and should be taught throughout the school system. It is missing in our school system. And it's because of that that many of the families graduate school not even knowing how to balance a checkbook. I mean, God bless, they probably don't even know what a checkbook is. And it just starts their struggle for home ownership. So for all of the ladies and the fine gentlemen who have tuned in to listen to us today, here's what I want you to know. Carine is available for a conversation. And a conversation just takes time. So there is an investment involved. It's an investment of your time, and it's an investment of Carine's time as well. If you want to know more about her business, and perhaps you're an investor and you want to get in on the in circle, have a conversation with her. So the more people we have coming to the table, the more families we can help. And how is that not a good thing? If you are a family right now struggling with financial literacy, not knowing if home ownership is an option for you, but you, like Carine, have a dream that you're looking to fulfill for your family, reach out and have the conversation. And if she can't help you right now, it's not a no, door closed. It's a, here's some tools to help you move your journey forward. And my door is open when you are ready to investigate this option for you. See, what I love more than anything is that Carine knows the value of home ownership. That coming from Africa, she truly values what a roof over your head is like. She comes to our table with a very different perspective. She is a role model for her daughters, for her husband, and for her extended family. And I can tell you that I have learned a lot from her. She is a role model for our community. Carine, you are a gift. There is nothing more than I can say about you, that what you are doing to build our communities up is a gift. It is a blessing and a pleasure that I have had the opportunity to cross paths with you. And I really look forward to getting to know more about who you are and what you are doing to shape our world. I know your time is precious, and I am so very grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheri. Thank you very much. It was an honor to have that conversation with you today. You're a great person. I am very blessed that I met you. And yes, I look forward to continue exchanging with you and everyone out there. Just a conversation. I am open, you know. I believe Sheri is going to share my contact details. Please don't hesitate. Whether it's you're an individual or a family struggling or an investor, because I forgot to say that and Sheri mentioned it. Yes, if you want to join my cause, I call it my cause, you know, as an investor, please reach out. You know, this is important for me. This is a great mission I'm on. And yeah, I hope I was uh, I was able to bring some value today. Thank you very much, Sheri. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing your name in lights and saying, I knew her when. There are great things on the horizon for you, my friend. Great things on the horizon. To everyone who was tuned in today, thank you so much for joining our conversation. I want you to take a moment and I want you to make sure that your bucket is full, not your cup, but your bucket. Take a moment today to make sure that you have some gratitude and that you are filling your bucket up. I hope this finds you with your heart being light. If there's something heavy that is weighing on your heart, please take a moment to sit and pause and move through that. And above all else, my beautiful sisters, take this moment to sit and let your soul sing your beautiful praises, because I can tell you, you are worth it. You are loved and you are enough just as you are. Thanks for showing up in my world today. It is appreciated.